Hey, today I want to talk about gaming, not games. I was always told it was for children, especially now when people ask me what I do for fun and I say gaming, people will be like, hey Steve, what do you do in your free time? And I'll be like, I play games. And I would feel bad for it because it was frowned upon. I was always told you should be doing something in the real world, don't waste your time. But for me, gaming has resulted in me getting a job in the tech industry. It's ultimately provided for my family. It sparked my passion by getting me interested in hardware and now software. I've gone geek and I'm proud. And times are changing. Since 20 years ago, there's a larger gaming community. Especially now, with the popularization of social media, people can reach out to one another with common interests more and more every single day. Let's start with money, money, money. Last year, the gaming industry's consumers spent over $100 billion. That's crazy, right? That's more than some countries' economy. Nintendo, no wonder when the Wii was out and Nintendo dominated sales, they still remained financially stable even after the Wii U. The U stands for unspoken. The film industry, just over 40 billion, and the music was around 10. Let that just sink in for a second. Over double the other main entertainment streams combined. 20 years ago, you wouldn't be seeing numbers like this. This is positive, because to me, I see gaming as something way more than the product it's deemed. I'm into development and I can tell you straight from the horse's mouth that the work that goes into these games is phenomenal. Way more than you could even imagine. Hundreds, even thousands of people's involvement. Unless you're an indie company, then you slave away double at minimum wage just for your passion. When you hear of a AAA title being developed, you can bet your bottom dollar that work started at least a year or two ago. That's why Call of Duty has like 3 developing companies associated to it. They can roll them out each year and then we're like, yay, Call of Duty. The investment capital that comes along with it as well. You've got to pay marketing, testers, developers, designers, administration, resources. Destiny, the greatest it's going to change the world of gaming flop in the world. I don't know if you remember that. Cost Bungie and Activision a total of $500 million. Like what? Just goes to show you can't throw money at a game. It's an art form. And how have they maintained that £50, $60 price tag? Round of applause. Right, let's actually talk about that. Art. What is art? To you, right, it could be a picture, a sculpture, music. Someone could argue that any creation is a form of art, right? In games, they create entire worlds and in-depth characters that live within them. One day, like Ready Player One, you could live in one too. If any of you know Elon Musk, he believes in the simulation theory, which is basically the theory that we are living in a simulation due to the statistical fact that us being base reality is 1,000,000,000 to 1. So life itself could be a VR experience. Games have orchestras, perform their music, and create incredible soundscapes and scores. We all listen to game soundtracks at some point. At the Victoria Albert Museum, they had a display on the Bloodborne music development. And that really put things into perspective. Just seeing the end product compared to seeing its phases, fantastic. I recommend it to everyone. A USP of gaming to me is where else in the world or what platform enables you and a friend to take on a horde of zombies, fly a spaceship into the sun, and explore new worlds. There isn't one. It all stems from this medium, so it bothers me that it doesn't get the credit it deserves. However, times are changing. As I said, the community that now exists is huge worldwide. I've had friends I've met online travel across the country just to come hang. There are chat rooms, forums, subreddits, YouTube channels, magazines, all dedicated for gamers. As the world becomes more open-minded, all of these previously repressed passions are being heard, and in the best way possible. How many of you have met someone new and it was a little awkward, and then one of you is like, hey, you play Halo? Boom! Lifetime bond is made right there. I think the issue with gaming is it's sitting on your ass watching TV, because all the activity is actually going on in your head. You're immersed. Games like Uncharted 4, God of War, the new Spider-Man, I'll remember for the rest of my life. And all I did was sit on my ass. Another thing I feel is powerful is the gaming industry is run by its consumer. Oh my god, shopping. Not like music where people listen to what's popular, or films where they can give it a name of a classic, like the remake Ghostbusters. Oh, that film was terrible. And still be successful. If the consumer doesn't like something, it gets changed. We don't have to stand for it. Case in point that a lot of you might remember is the Xbox One DRM when the Xbox One first got announced. We all said no, WTF, with the head of the Xbox division guy, who I don't even remember, he looked like a mole. He got driven out, he resigned. He was like, see ya, I'm out, and got a sweet ass deal at another company, which is why these companies keep trying to let us know that they're for the gamers at every single conference. I'm glad he's gone now and we got good old Phil McCracken. A potentially vital topic. is the influence games can have politically and help shape society. The museum had a section dedicated to racism, such as older games would stereotype, for example, the black community as the villains all the time. But if you transition now, we have multiracial and gender-differed main roles. The latest Uncharted had 2 female and multiracial leads from Africa and Australia. Tomb Raider has been less sexualized too, but to an extent, because some of those sound effects are pretty I agree with the focus of these courses, because if you create a world, an experience where a minority is objectified, you will have an emotional response, because some of these kids, they're so young that the only life experience for them that they could have is from this video game. So we should create these worlds keeping in mind the future that we want to create. On that moral note, thanks. The footage seen is from the Game Expo at the Victoria Albert Museum in London. I recommend you check it out. It was brilliant. Thank you for listening to The Power of Gaming, some of my thoughts on some potentially touchy matters. Give me a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.